All right. So, we're at Fort Frederica on St. Simons Island because it was Brittany's birthday weekend. And so, you know, I want to treat her right. So, we went down to the beach for a little while. We just ate at Fiddler's restaurant over here on St. Simons. It was phenomenal. All right. So, anyway, we both like Fort Frederica, which is a national monument park. It's free entry. They've got reenactments and stuff over here. They're spinning wool and stuff. The moat's right there on the other side. This is Main Street or Broad Street. Anyway, my battery died randomly at 50%. But anyway, it's a free park. It's a national monument park. And this is where James Oglethorpe, founder of Georgia, was kicking it back in the day. And he launched raids from here onto St. Augustine to try to jack up the Spanish and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty nifty. And there's a remnants of a blockhouse. It's right over here on the. I can't remember. Is that? It's a. Uh, right there on the coast, right here off of St. Simons. So you still got a bunch of the foundations to different houses and taverns and stuff. I came here years ago, but it's a really neat place. They have pup dog over there. There's a really cool pup dog over here, but I'm not going to film them because I didn't get their permission. But you got all these placards, tell you different stuff. They got some stuff they found here, a spoon, some hooks and chain and stuff like that. But it's a really pretty place. Like I said, we came down here for, there's a deer way off over there in the distance. We came down here because it's Brittany, my girlfriend's, her birthday was yesterday, so we came down here for that. And we both like Jekyll Island, so we're staying on Jekyll Island at the Seafarer Inn, which, by the way, is a phenomenal, very nice. Prices are reasonable, rooms are clean, very nice. Then we came over to St. Simons to eat, and then we thought we'd come by here. We're probably going to go to the lighthouse either today or tomorrow. There you got Shoemaker and Soldier. So I'll show you this so you can pause the video and read it if you'd like. It's a pretty nifty place. There's massive trees up in here. You got sacrifice and service. Like I say, I'm not going to read these to you unless they're particularly interesting. But if y'all want to pause it, you can read it yourself. It's just a really nice little park. It's nice and big. It's got a lot of remnants of the foundations and stuff are left. Like you got this foundation right here. Like I say, I'll film as much as I can. My batteries are being really weird. Huts and houses. Here's part of here's a wine bottle and a fork. But I'm a big fan of James Oglethorpe. He's one of my historical heroes. There's a deer right over there. There's two of them, three of them. He's one of my historical heroes because James Oglethorpe was a very capable man. All right. There's a lot of good things about him. When Georgia was founded, he was very anti-slavery. He didn't want slavery in Georgia when it was a colony. He didn't want alcohol in Georgia. After he left, Georgia became a slave colony after that. And he was pretty soft towards us during the Revolution too. That got him a lot of flack. I can't remember what year he actually died, but he I know he lost some of his reputation because he's not as hateful towards the Americans or the colonists as the British royalty and other upper class folks like him should have been, or as much as they wanted him to be. But he's just a really cool. If you've never read about James Oglethorpe, you really should read about him. He's a very fascinating person. The way he was able to get Georgia set up to start with. Now, Georgia has a reputation of having been a debtor's colony. But if you look at the manifest on the people that actually came here, they're all very, very well-skilled craftsmen and laborers and blacksmiths and talented folks. They weren't the debtor part of it was really just the official excuse. The main excuse for Georgia was to be a buffer colony between English North America and Spanish Florida. And to give us a launching point, give the British a launching point to attack the Spaniards if need be, because, the British and Spaniards and French like going at it from time to time. There's some more artifacts. The glare is really bad, so you'll have to forgive that. Here's the carpenter. It's founded, I believe it said 1736. I've taken some other pictures of stills that I'll put in the video. Look at these deer right here. See that deer? There's 3 of them over here. The deer don't get very big down here, but they're everywhere. They're all over Jekyll.
They're working on their physique. They all gotta stay in shape for the bikinis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're beach deer. Here's another foundation right there. That's the carpenter's house. They've got the signs up for each street as it would have been because they have the maps of the way the fort was laid out. It's just, it really is just gorgeous here. So we're walking down the main drag here, Broad Street. It said it had about 1,000 people here, living here outside the fort, kind of a town. And then the main fort's over here. That's where there's the part of the blockhouse, barracks and stuff. If I remember right from when I was here before, they had cannons here that are of the same similar style they would have had at the time. But obviously, they're not the original ones to the fort. Because cannons, it's not like they just left them laying around unless they were severely damaged. So the British or whoever would move them around. Here's another foundation. We're on 6% of battery, so I'll try to get as much as I can in. It's a big area. I don't know how many acres it actually is. Here you got a piece of a cast iron pot, portion of a candle maker's tool, a folding comb, and a clay wig curler. So this is the candle maker's house, I guess. And it's pretty cool because the names, John Caldwell, because it was very, they kept up with it back in the day. There were so few people here. This is 3 years after Georgia's founded. So it's not like Georgia had, 30,000 people here at one time that early. There were so few people here. This is 3 years after Georgia's founded. So it's not like Georgia had, 30,000 people here at one. Sorry, we had to change batteries yet again. This one's at 49%. We'll see what happens. If it does die, I'll just finish filming it on my girlfriend's phone, on Brittany's phone. So if you see a change in quality, that's the reason why. Patrick and Priscilla Houston. Excuse me.
I'm just taking pictures.
Huh?
Just taking pictures.
No, I know. Brittany's using a Polaroid she's got, taking pictures of the deer and stuff. Anyway, I trailed off earlier. So Georgia was founded from the bottom corner up. So you have, Savannah, and then it spreads out north, west, kind of slowly over time. Um, it just steadily gains population. By the time of the Revolution, it's still a very small population compared to other colonies, but significantly larger by the time the Revolution's around, obviously, than the 1730s. Here's another pretty good sized foundation. It's just really cool because, like I say, I really, really like James Oglethorpe. And so it's just cool to be somewhere where he was at. He was physically here. So it's a really neat thing. Here's the Tavern and Doctor. Here's part of a stoneware tankard. It's been partially restored. Part of an ointment jar. And see, here's a copy of the map. Sorry, the glare is so terrible. Here's a copy of so it'll give you lot numbers and stuff. But yeah, like I say, there's some ruins over there. There's some ruins up over here of the actual fort itself. So I'll get back with you when we get over there. I won't show you every single thing. That way, if you do come here, you haven't seen everything in a stupid red clay trailer video. But I'll be back with you shortly. Alright, so here we are up here, getting close to the fort itself. So here's the placard, I'll show you that. General Oglethorpe shows this site for Frederica's fort. It was a high ground on a river bend where cannon could hold off Spanish ships upstream or downstream. Flanking marshes gave protection against land attack, and there was plenty of timber for building fortifications. The fort at Frederica became the center of military operations along the southern frontier of the British colonies. From here, Oglethorpe launched offenses against the Spanish at St. Augustine. The Spanish invaded Georgia in 1742, but were turned back before they reached Frederica. The fort was eventually leveled, not by the Spanish, but by time and the elements. Archaeological excavations in the 50s confirmed the location of palisade walls and buildings. Earthworks have been partially reconstructed. So here's a map of the fort. It's a star fort. In the morning, Mr. Oglethorpe began to mark out a fort bastions and the men how to dig the ditch and raise the turf and rampart. Francis Moore, 1736, A Voyage to Georgia. Here's a barrel spigot, musket ball, musket hammer, a tobacco pipe. Like I say, there's also some battles. There's a battle of Bloody Marsh on St. Simons and the battle of, I can't remember the other one. But anyway, you pass them on the way in here, and they were pretty pivotal battles where the British were able to repel the Spanish out of taking Fort Frederica and St. Simon. But it is just gorgeous out here. If you're down this way, if you're near Jekyll, you're very close. You're about 30 minutes from the fort. Here's another foundation. That's the North Storehouse, is what it says. A massive tree here. Here's the King's magazine. This is part of their storage magazine, powder magazine. Sally Port guard room, prison cell, officer of the day, entrance to the fort. All sentries are to be vigilant on their post, neither are they to sing, smoke tobacco, nor suffer any noise to be made near them. Treaty of Military Discipline, 1749. Do you know what? I'm ashamed of myself that I don't know this, but do you know what river that is, Brittany?
Frederica.
The river?
Frederica River.
Is it?
Yeah.
You sure about that? I think she's making fun of me. Say Oglethorpe. This is the remnant. This remnant is all that time has spared of the citadel of the town of Frederica, built by General Oglethorpe, A.D. 1736, as an outpost against the Spaniards in Florida, preserved by the Georgia Society of Colonial Dames of America, 1904. Okay, Brittany's not right. It is. I'm ashamed of myself, like I say, but it is Frederica River.
It says to stay out of there.
Here you go. Do what?
You can't go in there.
No, I know. I was just looking. So this is part of the powder magazine. Just have that old style concrete, the shells in it and everything. Here's some of the cannons. I can say these aren't, this is an English 32-pounder cannon of the period of Fort Frederica. So like I said, they're not from the fort, obviously, but they're from the era of the fort, from the 1730s. Sorry. Interrupted Brittany's selfie. Slap it on Instagram. Guns on the river. Cannon protected Frederica's river approaches from enemy ships. The big guns were mounted behind the fort parapets and in batteries near the water's edge. In 1742, cannon located downriver prevented Spanish galleys from reaching the fort. The corroded gun tube may have been part of Frederica's original armament. Its wooden carriage has been reconstructed. Other cannon nearby are of the age, but were not here originally. A smoothbore muzzle loader like this could shoot a 12-pound ball 1 mile. The compact garrison-type carriage recoiled after each shot, then was rolled back into firing position. A wooden wedge was used to set aim higher or lower. And then you got the river. Apparently Frederica River. So this is the pitted cannon that they're saying might be an original one. I think you can see it's got deep pitting in it. You never know. Oglethorpe might have been sitting here. It's a shame they plugged it. I always hate it when they do that. But I get it. Some jackwagon will come by here and think it'd be funny to shoot it or something, I guess. But James Oglethorpe might have been sitting here like this with his arm leaned up on it like that. Looking out. Thinking about messing up some Spaniards. But anyway, I am the Red Clay Traveler. And that's all for right now. I'm not wearing overalls. I'm ashamed to let you know what I'm wearing, so I'm not even going to show you.
He's wearing Crocs.
Yeah, wow. Anyway, it's hot out here, okay? It's 80 degrees in January. All right. But anyway, I am the Red Clay Traveler. And until next time, until the next video, remember, badass history for life. James Oglethorpe, or as his friends would call him, Jim, for life. All right. Get it. Yeah. Frederica River. Yeah.